Are you ready to unlock the potential that aligns with your faith and vision as a Christian businesswoman? Welcome to Millionaire Faith, where we strive to help you build thriving businesses based on faith principles. My name is Dr. Sylvia Jones, the Queen of Vision, and today we're going to dive into a very interesting topic, a topic that every visionary woman should know about: how women can get rich using financial wisdom. It's not just about accumulating wealth. It's about creating a legacy that aligns with your values and vision. Let's get started. First, let's talk about cultivating a wealth mindset. Your mindset is the foundation of your financial journey. Is it a sin for Christians to make money? Should we just live in poverty? Should we live really low and to be more like Christ? This is a question I hear a lot, and I'm not really sure where it came from because there's so many scriptures, there's so many references in the Bible about abundance. There's so many things that show that there's blessings that come with that. So I'm not sure how you can have the blessing, but then it may be financial resources, it may be health, it may be a lot of different ways that God can bless you. To think that to be a devout Christian and you cannot have resources, I don't see that founded in the Bible. One of the things that I saw when it talks about a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, how are you going to do that without anything to leave? Then we look at the story of the talents. I love that story. It really shows that God is all about giving more to those who steward his resources well, to good managers. Even when you look at the story of Solomon asked for wisdom, and it says that he not only gave him wisdom, he also gave him wealth and honor. I never really see where God does well and you have a life of poverty. Even Joseph, they tried to throw him down the stream, and then he went to Potiphar's house, and then he still ended up in prison. But when he had that favor on his life, in the end, he was still managing resources. He was in charge of basically saving everybody from the famine. His brothers and stuff were coming to him trying to get food. So, we all fall short. I just don't see it backed up in the word where we are bound to live this life of poverty. So if we're not, then let's talk about building a wealth mindset so we can align ourselves with the abundance of God and not this mind of poverty or fear that many of us have found ourselves caught up in. So number one, you want to embrace abundance thinking. You want to shift your mind from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance, believing that there is enough opportunities, resources for everyone, including you, not just for everybody else. But God, I think about, he says, don't worry. There's another scripture talks about do not worry. Just as he takes care of the lilies of the valley and the birds and everything else, he'll take care of you. You don't see them living in lack. We don't feed them. We don't have to go out there and clothe them, but they're taken care of out of the abundance of God, not out of the lack of God. There is no lack in God. So where does lack come from? Because he is abundant. Number two is set clear financial goals. What exactly do you want to achieve? When you have clear financial goals, you can submit those to the Lord in prayer. And not saying he's always a yes man, he's going to say yes to everything. But he will show you how to even rearrange those goals so that they align with his plan and with his purpose when you get into his presence. So define your financial goals with clarity. whether it's saving for a home or starting a business or building for retirement. Have some specific goals that give you direction, and you can see how those align. God will show you how those align with his vision for your life and with his perfect will. Next, let's focus on smart financial management. Managing your finances wisely is crucial for building and sustaining wealth. We've all seen people who came into a lot of money. Maybe they were some sort of sports star, basketball star, football star, somebody won the lottery, all of those things. However, you cannot make enough money to overcome poor financial habits, because as quickly as you make money, you can make $1 million an hour. You can spend $1 million an hour. There's somebody out there that would take your $1 million an hour if they needed to. So you can always outspend what you're bringing in. There is some financial management that is required for you to be able to retain or grow wealth. Income and wealth are not the same. I repeat, income and wealth are not the same. You can have money coming and money go out as fast as it, and you can just be a pass through. The money comes into my account, the money goes out of my account. That is not wealth. That's money transfer. Wealth means money comes in, some money goes out, but there's money that stays and is built upon. We talked about this in some previous videos. Make sure you're watching the previous videos. We have budgeting and saving. Budgeting really allows you to position your money in a way that you can have extra to save. Savings is really a budget. This is how much I want to save. Maybe it's a percentage, maybe it's a dollar amount. But in your budget, you are budgeting in savings. Many of you can't figure out why you can't save, because it's not in your budget. You have to plan to save, because there's so much in the world that's trying to take your reach to spend this and spend that, to not have anything left. Saving has to be calculated in. Create a realistic budget that tracks your income and expenses. Prioritize saving a portion of your income regularly, no matter how small it is. I love reading the Proverbs, and I'm not going back to the exact scriptures, but there's a proverb that I remember that talks about a foolish person spends everything that they get. As soon as payday hits, Friday morning, you got money. Friday night, no more money. Number 2, investing wisely. Invest your money in places that align with your risk tolerance and your financial goals. So we've talked about setting these goals. And so we want to invest into places that align with that. Now, what is the difference between investments and savings? Savings is usually you're putting your money in a low risk venture. So maybe it's a savings account. Maybe even you got some CDs, but usually it's guaranteed. If I have a problem with my car, I go to my savings, get money, and I can pay for that day. Or maybe I have to wait a week, but pretty close, you have access to the money. Savings can also grow at a lower interest rate. However, you can invest wisely. This is why it talks about your risk tolerance, because investing comes with risk. When you invest, you want to invest wisely, meaning that you've thought through a lot of the problems, the possibility of loss. And a lot of times you don't want to invest money that you risk losing, because in every investment, there is some sort of risk. However, there's a lot of gain that can be had as well, especially when you invest wisely. So there's lots of different ventures that you can invest in. You can invest in stocks. You can invest in real estate. You can invest in mutual funds. You can invest in businesses. You can invest in ideas. You can invest in your own business. You can invest in other people's businesses. There's a plethora of things that you can invest your time and resources in. Usually, because they're a little higher risk, they also have a higher possibility of return on investment. And those can grow your wealth over time. Should you be afraid of investing? I would say not. God says He hasn't given us a spirit of fear. And then when you go to that story of the talents, you remember that one man, he put his in the ground. He saved it, but he put it in the ground. And when the master comes back, he says, you could have at least put it in the bank account where I could have gotten some interest. The guy with the 5 talents, he invested his, they don't tell you what he invested in, but whatever he did, he got 100% return when the master got back. The story shows that God is all about investing, but He's about investing wisely and not being foolish, not being too fearful, but also being wise and looking at the risk factors and the tolerances. Number 3 of this management is to avoid debt. So we're talking about investing. Debt is the opposite of investing. Investing, you have your interest working for you, meaning that you're getting interest. But when you're in debt, it's the opposite. You have to pay extra on that debt. So stay clear of unnecessary debt. The Bible doesn't say you can't, but if you must borrow something that will give you a return. Some of those things that if you're going to borrow, you might borrow for education, you might borrow for a business, you might borrow for a home, because over time it's better to invest now than later. You want to invest in something that at least has the possibility of giving you a return on investment. Some things you might want to avoid. You want to be using more for assets and not for liabilities. Things that maybe are perishables. You might not want to go into debt for food or clothes. Sometimes it's necessary, but if you can't avoid it, you want to avoid that kind of debt. My debt tolerance is pretty low. I've had a lot of debt in the past. You may have heard my story of how I was in quite a bit of debt. Student loans, business loans, every kind of debt. Even had a timeshare at one point. Lord have mercy. I really got my financials in line. All the stuff that I'm telling you, talking to you about, I'm not just telling you, I've lived it. I've had to do the budget. I've had to do the savings. I've had to try to find money that was extra to put on the principal to get that debt to come down. And I've also had to depend on God, using Him as my strength, making my little resources go even further. That's one thing in business that us as Christians have, is that we do have God, can lean on Him. Number 3 is you can leverage your opportunities. Let's discuss leveraging opportunities to maximize your financial growth. The number 1 thing that you can do is networking and mentorship. Building a strong network of like-minded individuals or seeking mentorship, learning how from others' experiences can provide valuable insights and open doors of new opportunities. In a mentorship relationship, the reason why you get such leverage is because you're depending on, or you're tapping into someone who has been there and done that. The learning curve is less because they can tell you, they don't necessarily tell you what to do, but they can tell you what they did and what happened. And then you have the opportunity to learn from that. Instead of going through that, maybe they went through 12 years of hardship and then finally figured out the solution. You can jump right past the 12 years and get to the solution if you're wise and you use the information in a wise way. Number 2 is continuous learning. So leveraging the opportunities of learning. Invest in education and skills development. The more knowledge and skills you acquire, the better equipped you'll be to seize any kind of lucrative opportunity. Not only will you be able to seize it, you'll be able to see it. Sometimes there's an opportunity standing right in front of you, but because of your lack of knowledge, you cannot see it. It looks like something that is just not going to end up being anything. But if you've been learning and you've been looking into your market and you've been surveying your customers and you've been doing all the things to keep that learning, When that opportunity comes, you can say, oh, there's a gap in the market. There's an opportunity here that I can see. So let me tell you about when I did, God gave me the vision for violet eyewear. You see my glasses on, violet eyewear. Okay. I'm in optometry. He's put me into an optometry space. And I see that people are going to the regular eye doctor, but I'm seeing that there's a shift. People are now starting to go online. However, as those people go online, they're still having issues. Okay. They don't know about these measurements they need. They have a lot of questions that apparently online is not enough there. So what we created was Violet Eyewear. It's a Violet Eyewear experience where you have your own vision ambassador. It's the best of both worlds. You can go online. You get the online feel. You get to pick from a large array of glasses. You get all of that, but you also have a vision ambassador that you can ask questions and that they have been trained and know how to guide you. When you have continuous learning, you can see those opportunities. You can see the gaps in the market. You can be aware that there's even what's happening in the market to see a gap. Number 3 is taking calculated risks. Don't be afraid to take a risk. Evaluate the potential rewards and the downsides and step out of your comfort zone to achieve significant financial gains. This is how wealth is built. It is those who have the knowledge that can see those gaps and are not afraid to step out and take a risk. With those talents, the one who took, but they also said he had the most ability, he got the biggest reward. The one who was scared, not only did he not get the gains, when the master came back, he called him evil, wicked. And he took what he had and gave it to the one who had 10 talents. Now, this man had 11 talents, and this other man had none. Calculated risk means involving God, involving wise counsel, involving wise advisors, so that you and your business does not become stagnated because you're scared to try anything new. Leveraging those opportunities. We have a wonderful opportunity that is our Faith Boss mentorship, where you can work with us for an entire year, where you can ask us questions, where you can dig deeper into the knowledge that we have acquired. And there is a investment, and that you can look at those calculated to see if that's something that may be good for your business. Financial wisdom is the key to getting rich and building a legacy that lasts. By cultivating a wealth mindset, managing your finances wisely, and leveraging opportunities, you can achieve financial success and live out the vision that God has for you. If you have found this video helpful, please subscribe, share it with others. And also, for more tips and resources, you can visit our website. You can also join me in our Profitable Brand Story Masterclass, where we spend 5 intensive days working on your brand story and diving deeper into what Jesus knew about story and why he used story so much throughout the Bible. Also, why God used story so much throughout the Bible and throughout history. So you can join us there. Make sure that you look below. I'm sure there's a link. Click on the link, learn more about the Profitable Brand Story so you can get your tangible document that will help you evoke emotion, connect with your audience, and share the vision God has for you in a larger way. All righty, guys. So praying that God blesses you, that you start to see your business enrich and flourish. And we will see you next time. Bye.